Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's one of my replays and I'm in the Minotaur, a tier 10 British cruiser. I'm on the map Shatter. It's a weapon domination game, and you might be asking yourself, why can't we see the enemies here? And that's because in Wargaming's quest to keep replays as buggy as possible, they have introduced a new bug. And sometimes in replays you just can't see the enemy team lineup anymore. You kind of can see it here on the right in the screen, but if I bring up tab, it's, you know, easy. So, thank you, Wargaming. Your dedication to keep this as buggy as possible is commendable. Anyway, so we can't really see the team lineup here, but what we can see here on the minimap is there is a Stalingrad coming, so radar might be a problem at some point. We can also see that there is, we can see what our team has, so we know that there is a sub on the enemy team, right? Now, interesting enough, by the way, this is not buggy in the game itself, this is just a replay feature. So, there is a vampire coming around. RPF was earlier tracking in this direction, so I presume that was happening. The Stalingrad is getting closer, so there is an issue, right? If the Stalingrad were to radar me right now, then Comparable could shoot me. Now, thankfully, Minotaur accelerates relatively quickly from standing still, which means the plan is if I get raided, I just need to hug this island as quickly as possible and hope the Comparable isn't ready to shoot immediately. Now there is a Shimmer castle relatively close. Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do against that. That's, I have some fish going this way. It's probably not gonna hit anything, just in case the Shimmer comes around it. The Shimmer could be trying to torpedo my smoke, I guess. Now, I'm sitting still here because, like, usually, and there's the radar, usually I'd try to maneuver in my smoke to be harder to hit with blind shots, but I knew that once the radar hits I need to accelerate, so I couldn't be caught. Like if you're reversing and then the radar hits, you are screwed, right? But if I'm sitting still, as you can see, I can accelerate relatively quickly, and I made it into cover. Now there are still quite a few ships aiming at me. I'm also detected now normally because I left my smoke, and I presume the vampire is somewhere here spotting. But it's fine, I do have some cover, and I'm undetected again. Now I also don't have a Hydro running. Depending on the angle the vampire is coming from, it could torpedo me here, but it shouldn't be able to get good torpedo, like probably torpedo me right from the rear. So I should at maximum eat one. Now the problem of course is, how do I get out of this spot? Because the Incomparable seems to be pushing around, and I can't always be in smoke, right? So my fear is, I'll explain that there shortly. And those are most likely Shimmer tops. So my fear was, right, if the Incomparable pushes here, and I keep getting detected, oh, I'm gonna eat the fish, aren't I? Well, that's a shame. But one is fine. So the Shimmer is trying to throw its ship away for some reason. Like, there's no reason for it to be pushing in like this. We don't really have a radar or something to keep it detected. It just chose by itself to YOLO in and sink. Good for us. Good for us. Okay, so there is a chance that the Stalingrad is gonna peek around here. And that's why I have some fish going. So yeah, I'm still trying to get out of here in case the Incomparable pushes in and the destroyer keeps me spotted. I do have a smoke ready, and exactly now the Stalingrad is coming around here. So I'm gonna pop a smoke and might get raided here. At least Stalingrad radar isn't running that long. It might still be on cooldown. So the problem is I only got 2 torpedoes here, because the other torps, I had the right idea, but I didn't torp quite close enough to the island. The problem is that islands tend to just, like, block your torps. You don't know how close you can torp to an island, because, as we all know, what you can see is not always what you get, right? Sometimes you torp, it looks like the torpedo can bypass an island and it won't. But unfortunately, that means the Stalingrad is still alive when it's radaring me. The good news is it reversed enough that it can't currently shoot me. And there might not be anything too scary. I don't know where the incomparable is. Suppose that's scary. It's currently not spotted, so it's not here in the open shooting. The Kurfürst could have had shots here. But the radar is already over, and it looks like I'm getting away with this. And ooh, okay. And Ohio almost was an issue. So, the Stalingrad has retreated for now. And maybe our Kurfürst can finish it off. There is still the incomparable. Actually, I could have stayed in my smoke potentially and kept shooting him. Yeah, that was a bit of a risky move to make on my part. There is a vampire. The vampire is gonna poke my smoke. It's also slowing down way too much. I'm giving too much lead here. I got some fishes here. The vampire will most likely creep around with its smoke. It could decide to get closer. That Stalingrad is hopefully soon going down. And I think I might be spotted by this Ohio. Like, the vampire shouldn't... I mean, it could be the vampire if it left it. But, no, if the vampire was close enough to spot me, it should be spotted by my destroyer. So I think it's the Ohio seeing me through this gap here somehow. But you'll never know. Now, overall, we are one ship ahead currently. Oh, it's hard to see because we can't see it here on the top, but at least we still have the panel here on the sign. Also, the enemy sub has already been destroyed, which is always good news because nobody likes fighting subs. Now, those torpedoes are in case the Ohio speeds up again. Ohio can go relatively quickly. It wasn't going forward when we last saw it. But if it decides to, there is a chance. I suppose it's a slim chance. The Ohio would have to immediately decide to go forward, I think. And I mean, it is now, but my torps are going to be a little bit too fast there. I suppose I could have stayed there in this gap and launched even more torps, a little bit delayed in the hopes that one of them is going to hit. But it looks like we have a Kurfürst to shoot at here. That's now undetected, that's a shame. Well, got a bit of an interrupting. And so did the enemy. Now the Ohio did what I thought it would, but it wasn't fast enough to catch the fish, and now it's not gonna be able to anymore. I mean, I'm still sending some fish. There is a chance that the Ohio will decide to, I don't know, stop here, reverse, more blind shoot. I guess it's unlikely, but it's not like there is any use for those torpedoes otherwise right now. So the Kurfürst is hopefully going to go down soon. I can't currently shoot anything. But I am getting this cap. Now there is still a vampire. And sooner or later the vampire will probably come this direction. I mean, it could be staying more south and trying to torpedo our Thunder Rhine zone. Who knows? Now, we don't have the A cap, but we do control 2 caps, so this is going well in that regard. We are equal on ships, we are slightly ahead on points. So we just have to, I guess, keep it that way. The Ohio is trying to take B. It's not very healthy, and if it pushes in a little bit more, then our Winston and so on will be able to farm the Ohio. There it is, we have some vision on it now. My current plan, so my theory is, the vampire is going to torpedo this smoke. Yes, exactly this. And if I left in any other way, like there's still the incomparable. If the vampire spots me and the incomparable shoots me, I'm gonna be in trouble. And I still wanna defend this cap, because as you can see the Colbert is coming in, the vampire could be coming in, and incomparable is going to potentially push in my direction. So I've decided to do the safe way, right? Reverse around this island. Gives me a nice amount of cover while still being able to contest this. And I am detected. Still don't know where the incomparable is. But nothing else should be able to shoot me. The vampire can... I mean, I could be detected from the north, I suppose. But I don't think the vampire had time to go there. Could be the Holland, I suppose. Don't know how long ago the Holland was. But most likely I'm going to be spotted from like in the front. So here's the Colbert. I'm hydroed, the Colbert is not gonna fall for torps. It's a tricky situation because I still don't know what incomparable is. I do have some nice islands here, right? So I'm safe from behind. The Thunderer isn't gonna shoot me. There's the incomparable. And there is the Vampire. So I'm still being Colbert hydroed. My own hydro has run its course though. I'm not going to eat those torps. The biggest problem that I have is this incomparable, because eventually it will be able to shoot me. I could go completely nose forward and hug this island very tightly, but then I couldn't shoot. So I do have some fish going here. It serves, in a sense, a dual purpose. The Vampire could try to YOLO me. I have been YOLO'd in situations like this by destroyers before, especially if my hydro down. The incomparable, it doesn't look like it's going in front of this island. So it doesn't really have the time to sail into those. This is mostly just to discourage somebody from charging. Now I was briefly not hydroed, so I happily popped the smoke, and I'm hydroed again. So this could be the Vampire's hydro too. So I suppose it might be Vampire hydro. Once again, RPF is pointing dangerously in this position. And I wouldn't see it coming if the Colbert comes around. So I got some torps here, mostly just to deny them the chance of pushing in. While I go forward again. Now, with only my front guns against an angled incomparable, this is not going so well. I do try to stay as close as possible here, and hopefully the incomparable won't have the arcs to properly hit me. But, oh, it's down. Now that's good news. So, I'm out of smoke screens. I have one last hydro charge remaining. And it's almost ready. So we can see the smoke here, that's the Vampire, so let's push it. With the battleship gone, I don't have to be so careful anymore. I mean, there is still the Colbert. It's not like a Colbert can't hurt me. But for now... Well, I mean, currently it can't because it's an island. If I push too much, I have to I have to be careful. Anyway, Vampire down. It didn't have a chance to really torpedo me. And now we can focus on the Colbert. Overall, it's looking pretty decent. We have... I mean, we are only one ship ahead. We are a bit ahead on points. It's still somewhat close one. But I can't shoot that Colbert here yet. Also, I triggered my special captain, so I got one more consumable, so I have a smoke again. Which might come in handy. Depending on what this Colbert does here, right? Like... I could have Viper, for example, spot the Colbert and me sitting in smoke and shooting it, depending on what it does.
That was a great battle.
Oh, Viper is actually smoking. So, definitely time to go forward here. Actually, we got the enemy Holland, so the enemy is down to 3 ships. Yeah, I think I'm gonna push this Colbert. If it keeps showing this much broadside, I'm just gonna go for it. I do have my super heal ready if I need it. And, you know, the Colbert is so broadside, this is... This was easy. Okay then. Well, with that, it's just 2 enemies remaining. And... They are not going to change that. Our Thunder is pushing this Des Moines. So, let's speed up the remainder of the game. We do have the Thunderer going towards the Des Moines. Thunderer is still relatively healthy. Shouldn't have too much trouble here, I think. I'm getting close to back it up, of course. And, yeah, they just rammed. The Thunderer survived the ram. And it's now just healing back. That leaves the Bourgogne, and we'll reach 1,000 points anyway. And just win. So, this was a nice battle in the Minotaur. I'd say it remained somewhat close until mostly the end. And, yeah, especially since looking at this score screen, our sub did absolutely nothing. So we were basically one ship. We had one ship less than we thought we had. Well, you know, a nice Minotaur game. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. And I'll see you next time.